Hello, Team Cube, and welcome to our Postmortem discussion. What was supposed to happen throughout the duration of this course was that our team, Team Cube, was supposed to work together throughout the stages of team development. We were supposed to communicate and work through situations, resolving our issues that aroused by reverting back to our team charter agreement. Stop laughing. We were also supposed to follow, lead, and mentor each other while working through each task. Now, if we can...
You already said stop laughing, so...
If we can discuss 5 things that went wrong...
Dude, you screwed up the beginning. You said hello... You said hello, Team Cube.
Yeah, I'm talking to you guys.
But it's a postmortem of us.
Yeah, we're in a room.
We're doing an analyze for people about us.
Yeah, you don't address Team Cube.
Besides, you said
hello, everyone.
stop laughing and Adam.
Okay, let's go. We're starting over.
What are we talking about? The good or the bad first?
Good. Bad
The
first.
first.
What went wrong first?
Stop laughing, man. I look at your camera and then I start laughing.
I'm going to start it off with communication so you guys all know.
We're still on air. I hope no one's watching this.
Alright, come on.
Are you ready?
No, I'm not
You gotta
ready.
start it again, man.
Alright, you ready, Josh?
Or you can just cut it. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm going to edit it.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, hello guys. Throughout the duration of this course, what was supposed to happen was that we were supposed to work together through the stages of team development. We were to communicate and work through the situations, resolving any issues that came about, reverting back to the team charter agreement. We were also supposed to follow, lead, and mentor each other throughout the month. Alright, now if we could discuss 5 things that went wrong and propose solutions to each of those problems. I would like to discuss communication.
Stop. We need to stop that shit.
It's just not going to work.
Cut that shit out.
Why is he laughing?
Why are you laughing? Because I can't stop laughing for some reason.
Brittany's
Been
laughing,
drinking.
and that's making me laugh.
I'm gonna keep my head down.
Seriously, why are you laughing?
I can't look at the screen because I see you laughing.
Her, and she's giggling her ass off.
It's,
You need to stop laughing because that's just ruining it.
I'm just gonna hide your cameras because I can't focus.
He's nonchalant. Hey guys.
Whenever you guys are ready to try this for a 3rd time.
Let me stop crying. Oh. Brittany, no more laughing.
I'm not even gonna look at you. Oh, shit, I just made it super big. I can't even see myself. Good. I'm good.
Good?
Okay.
Alright, you got the bottle away. I'm about to start. Are we good?
No.
No?
I still don't know what
Look
we're
at the
discussing.
dogs. Bark, bark.
We're going to discuss what was supposed to happen, and then we're going to discuss the 5 problems.
Are we gonna comment on what we thought was supposed to happen, or is that just you?
But what are the 5 problems?
Any that you can come up with. Any problems that you felt that was an issue and propose a solution towards it.
Start arguing with each other or something like that.
I'm running low.
Alright. Are you ready?
He's drinking.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, guys. What was supposed to happen throughout this month of... Alright, let me start over. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry, let me have a mistake.
You had like 5 already.
Ready? Okay, here we go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, everyone. This month, we were supposed to work together throughout the stages of team development. We were to communicate and work through each situation, resolving any issues that arose by reverting them to the team charter agreement. We were also supposed to follow, lead, and mentor each other when working throughout the task of each week. We are to discuss 5 things that went wrong and propose the solutions. So, Josh, I am going to ask you first, which one of the 5 problems that you would like to address?
I'd like to start with egos getting in the way and disrupting progress. When you're starting a new team, you need to make sure you check your ego at the door. Knowing that your ideas and your opinions are not the only ones that matter, and that without everyone else on the team having their own opinions and stuff. Oh, God damn it. Start over. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
What happened?
Keep going. We'll edit it.
I don't know.
It'll look bad if you edit it.
Okay. Last time.
Well,
All
you
right,
can
I'm
edit your entrance.
gonna start with Adam. All right.
Yeah, don't go to me first.
Just go to me first, alright?
I don't know what I'm doing.
All right. Give me a countdown.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, everyone. Throughout this month, we were supposed to work together throughout the stages of team development. We were supposed to communicate and work through the tough situations, resolving any issues that aroused by reverting them back to the team charter agreement that we made. We were also supposed to follow, lead, and mentor each other when working through each task of the week. We are to come up with 5 things that went wrong and propose solutions. So, Adam, I'm going to ask you first what is a problem and a solution to solve it?
One problem that I think we came across was maybe we didn't switch roles often enough. I know that I switched roles with you, Brian. That was only 2 of us. And I feel that if we switched roles like every single week with everyone having something different, then maybe there would have been the possibility of avoiding a lot of the conflicts we came across during this whole month of this class.
I totally agree with you, Adam. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I feel like our team as a whole, we didn't really work those roles, if you know what I mean. We didn't work through those roles like we should have. I know, like Anibal described the whole month, and we didn't really have timekeeper and stuff.
I agree with you, Brian. Like, honestly, most of us really did not work those roles as they should have been, as we were taught to or read about. Maybe the exception being Anibal as a scribe of just taking notes. But, I mean, yeah, we know the first and second week, me as a facilitator, that was pretty bad, and then switching that up did help and help resolve a few conflicts, which helped us progress, which was very good. But, you know, that still leaves Brittany, Josh, and then, you know, you and I could have even switched roles with them as well to something else. And then maybe we would have been able to work those roles because that's what we were better fit for, possibly. So that's one thing.
I have to definitely agree with you. I think we should have switched often. Like each week we should have switched just so everyone got familiar with each role and had a chance with each role.
I actually disagree. I think the problem that we had was we didn't work our personalities to the role that we should have had. Like, because Adam is more of a shark style personality where he's kind of like go 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 kind of thing. Being a facilitator kind of gave him too much dominance, and that kind of busted up the flow. And I think we should have more worked our personalities into the roles. Like me, timekeeper, I have the world's worst memory, and while looking at time, I'm just like not even thinking, hey, maybe I should be saying this. We got 10 minutes left. We got this much left. So I was the worst timekeeper ever. I mean, honestly, we should have did a better job of assigning roles based on the type of personalities and the people that we are.
Okay,
that's really what we failed at.
But to reject on that, we did discuss switching roles, and nobody wanted to switch roles.
Well, I think we're all just lazy.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that I think happened is that we did not. It's not that you didn't do your roles. I think what you actually did, you made your own version of that role. So everybody, I was supposed to take notes on important tasks, but I basically was just making an agenda so everybody would remember what to do. But I mean, I feel like you don't need to say that you didn't do your role. You basically did your own version of the role. You know, it's not that you didn't actually do anything.
Oh, okay. I can see where you meant with that, but I mean, I really think it all came down to the type of person we are. I mean, really, we should have assigned roles based on how we react to certain things. But I mean, you
Josh.
don't really know that until you become more of a team, So,
That's what I was saying. It's just after the first week, we should have been switching roles every week to find the role that suited that person best. That's what I'm saying.
mm,
Then everything would have fell into place, and everything would have been perfect that way. But as Brian said, we did ask if anyone else would like to switch roles when me and him switched the first time, but no one else spoke up or said anything. I would have gladly taken timekeeper or anything else. I'm sure someone
I
else
was
would have
comfortable
switched.
in my role. And that's why I said I didn't want to switch at that time.
I think, though, I don't know, I can't speak for the rest of you, but looking at some of the roles, it was kind of hard in our situation in particular, like the way all of our material and our classwork and all that was situated, that it was kind of hard to describe exactly what each role did. I didn't really know, like, facilitator, sure, you know what a facilitator is, but, like, what do we do exactly for this type of schoolwork type, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm getting that across, but basically, like, each role, it was kind of hard to define them a little bit.
We did address those in the team charter, if you forgot.
Yeah, I remember, but I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I didn't want to switch roles because I honestly had no clue really what I was going to do and this and that. I don't know, it's just bad. Maybe I'm just a bad reader. I don't know.
All right.
All right, Josh, since you ended that, can you point out another one?
Another one, I think a big thing for us is we let conflict ruin our team's flow. I think at least in the initial phase, like during the first week, we didn't do a whole lot of dealing with the conflict. We allowed it to disrupt our schoolwork. We allowed it to basically put a stop to some of the things we were doing. Hell, people were trying to switch classes. People were thinking about dropping a class. And really all we had to do was embrace the conflict, deal with it, and get it out in the open so that we could all discuss it and make it better. And I think as the weeks went on, we got better at that, but we still have a long way to go as far as, like, stopping conflict from ruining everything that we're trying to accomplish.
I'd like to apologize for that. I know I was sick and I had some problems, and me and Adam, we worked together previously. I think this is our third or fourth time, actually. And we really didn't get along at all. We were like bro-emies or something. I don't know, but we always got along. We always got along up until this class, and I don't know what happened, but I'm sorry. I know I didn't resolve anything, and me and Adam talked about it without you guys, just between each other. And during the second week, we kind of got back together. So
it was definitely scary, at least for me, since I know maybe some of you already, how you say you knew each other. But for me, being, like, I guess the new person in this team, it was nerve-wracking when you would be saying that you wanted to drop the class, drop the team, and then I would be left in, like, a two-person team, or I don't know, by myself. So that was pretty scary, actually.
Yeah, it was really scary. It was scary for me, like, more than anything, because if Brittany and Brian wanted to, like, both drop the class, two people who I've worked with previously in groups, and then I would have, like, felt like kind of alone or, like, abandoned. It kind of would have gave me the sense of, but I don't know. We really just should have talked about conflicts a lot more often and a lot earlier. Probably brought them up a lot earlier than anything. As I know, we started this whole solving our conflicts more openly and more aggressively during, like, week 3, was it maybe? And then maybe the end of week 2. We probably should have started to really tackle those conflicts a lot earlier, and that's what we didn't do. But I feel if we did that, then a lot of these problems would have probably been avoided.
If I could interject on that, I think honestly though, this class really did kind of prepare at least 3 of us for the future. Brittany, Adam, Anibal. I know me and Brian, we've had previous experience with leadership and teamwork being in the military, so we kind of understood what was going on, but we didn't want to, like, push, like the whole thing onto you guys. We wanted you to kind of figure it out yourself because we kind of felt like outside guys because like we've been through this before. We knew that you gotta step up to it. You gotta put the conflict out there. You gotta deal with it because if you don't, it's gonna eat you up from the inside. And I think this class really did everyone else pretty good. I think you guys have learned pretty well how to deal with your conflict, and I definitely think that in the future, if we all end up together as a team, we're going to do a lot better as far as like getting everything done, getting it out there, getting all the conflicts out in the open and dealt with.
So, Brittany, I just want to ask you, how do you propose we solve that?
I would just say we continue addressing the conflicts that arise, because I think that's when we started doing that, we actually started talking about what was happening, especially before each meeting, after each meeting, when you kept asking, is there any conflicts? And if there were, we actually started talking about them, and I think that helped. So I think that's our solution. Just continue to, address them before and address them after if there's any issues, and keep them flat on the table instead of hidden. And I think that's our best solution right there.
Yes, I agree.
Hold on. I think we should whenever addressing conflict or whenever in a new team, you need to make sure you have no fear. Like I think in the beginning, everyone was afraid to step up, afraid to say, "Hey, you're doing this or you're doing that," because they didn't want to hurt feelings or they didn't want to create a scene. And I think that you definitely need to dissolve that fear, and you need to make sure that hey, this is a team. If you're not willing to accept, the problems you may have or the problems that people think you may have, then you shouldn't be in the team in the first place, And I think we've done a good job at getting rid of that fear, and we're kind of getting to know each other. So we're like, hey, you're doing this, and the other person's like, hey, you know what? Maybe I am, and that's definitely a good sign. So
I like to address the way we prep things, the way we prep our work. I thought that was a thing that went wrong between us. I mean, I know that we got on our work pretty early, but I think we could have focused more on the task itself instead of worrying about getting it turned in way ahead of time. I just felt that was a situation that went wrong for us, that we could have spent more time on something and made it better.
What do you mean by that exactly?
Well, let's say like the team charter agreement, we got an 89, I believe, and we turned it in 2 days early, if I'm not mistaken. We could have worked and went through that slowly and then turned it in that night. Therefore, we wouldn't have had to rush and turn it in just because everyone wanted some free time and work on new assignments that we needed to do. That's just personal opinion.
So basically what you're saying is we went to try to get it done quickly without providing a good substance behind getting it done quickly. We should have spent extra time making sure that it was perfect before trying to get it in early.
Yes, but not so much perfect that it's rare to get something perfect if possible at all. But yes.
I'm not trying to disagree with you or anything, but you also have to bear in mind that we had this huge problem with the time constraints with everybody. So you have a different time zone. We have Brittany and Josh who worked long shifts. So
During that week though, I didn't work long shifts. I had pretty short ones.
Mm-hmm.
It still stands. Like that's another conflict that goes with Brian's conflict or issue as well. Is our whole time schedule that we had with some people's work schedules being kind of what's the word? I don't know. They're just really absurd. From
sporadic.
Yeah, from like really, really early in the morning to really, really late at night. Multiple days a week. It really like cut our meeting times, short, and then there's the conflict of, at first, we would spend like a lot of time during these meetings where we really wouldn't spend so much time talking about what really mattered and like the assignment. Like we would waste like maybe a third of the meeting time just talking about BS or something, and I mean, I know that happened a lot more often during the first couple weeks, and that really, really like put us behind. And that's what has to do with Brian's conflict that he brought up.
I agree with you, Adam. But I think most of the time it was more uncertainty. We didn't really know exactly what we were trying to do. Like reading some of these directions, we're just like, what? What does he want? And with the feedback, I know I was confused. I'm like, we did your transitions. What else do you want? You know. So I think we could have spent more time maybe discussing with the teacher, maybe trying to get a better idea of what we were doing. And then when we came to the meeting, we would know exactly what it is we wanted so we could discuss it better. But you're right, we did spend a lot more time discussing stupid things that we shouldn't have been discussing, and we went a lot in depth on some projects, like the Prezi presentation. I think the first 2 hours, we were discussing things that had nothing to do with what we were going to actually present. So, I mean, if we go back and we cut all that out, I think, it would have been perfect. We would have had plenty of time to do everything we needed to do, but we wasted a lot of time discussing things we shouldn't have. So
not necessarily. Your last comment was just weird because when we were discussing things that you're saying wasn't really important, we actually came across something that was important, and that's what helped us to finish it. We came from one thing and then went to our finished product because it brought up good ideas, and then everyone came together. And I think that's what helped us all come together.
I understand what you're saying. Like, you mean like we did kind of like a brainstorming thing? Is that what you mean? Okay, well, what I was trying to say is we went too in depth. We only needed an overview for the story, but we did the entire story, and then we went back and scrunched it into an overview. So I think we could have spent a little less time completing the story and maybe just grab bits and pieces. Our brainstorm, I think, was just way too long.
How about what do you guys think about most of the team meetings where it was just mostly me and Adam talking back to each other? You guys were pretty quiet.
Yeah, I admit, the first few meetings. The reason why, I honestly, in the beginning, I thought our personalities kind of clashed a little bit, and I didn't want to create conflicts by, interrupting and saying hey guys, you're doing this, and we need to do it this way, and as time went on, and we got to know each other better, and we realized that our conflicts were there, I think we got better at doing that. But in the beginning, I admit I was a little, standoffish. I didn't want to push the issue, but as a good team, you have to push that issue. You have to put yourself out there. If you're not willing to, you're not going to make it. So.
I wasn't too quiet at the beginning. I was a little bit, but not too quiet. I've been in a group with you and Adam before, and I was really quiet then. And I didn't think I was that much this month. But, at the beginning of class, I had my own conflicts with Josh that came from last month.
Yeah,
last class. And I think that's another thing that made me kind of go into my shell a little bit. But when I worked those out, I started becoming more open in the class, I think.
I think it was mostly just me and Anibal. We were kind of I think Anibal is just naturally a shy person.
The reason for my quietness, it was mainly, don't laugh, right? It was mainly I was trying to stay in a mediator position in the whole conflict that was going on. So I never really wanted to side with anyone or bust it into any conversation. So until second half of the second week, I didn't start actually being talking and present. It was just more yeah, see, no. That was pretty much all my responses, but eventually I guess I started opening a bit more.
Yeah. And let me just say that I apologize, Brittany. Last class was kind of a crappy one, and it wasn't so much of a team thing, really. So we didn't get a chance to kind of work it out like we did this class. And so
it was a team thing, but that was a train wreck. That class was a mess.
It was a mess, but we still did pretty good though. So.
Okay, let's move on to the things that you guys felt we did well and how to keep on continuing improving them. Anibal, let's start with you since you didn't have a chance to address something.
All right, so at least from my point of view, I think we had a lot of a teamwork attitude. Everybody at least had one. They're always offering help. Whether you asked or not, you always asking me if I needed something. I would ask you if I needed help. So I thought that was actually really good. feat in our team the whole month.
I agree. Brian, Adam, everybody was extremely helpful. Like every time we ended a meeting, people were like, "Hey, I'm going to be online for such and such hours. If you need anything, just let me know." And even Brian, like he would send me messages throughout the day. Be like, "Hey, are you okay with the research? Are you missing anything? Because I had trouble with this. If you need help, let me know." I mean, this class was extremely helpful. Even though we didn't get along, you guys were always there to provide feedback and to give advice and everything. I really appreciate it because it helped a lot.
All we have to do is just keep that team-focused attitude and selfless attitude, and then that's really it. If you have that attitude, like Brian and everyone else has shown, then you greatly help your team by providing the help that you need like that. That's one way to keep improving upon it. So.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. That definitely helps. I always think that people need to help their team, because if you're not helping your team, you're not working well together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Would anybody else like to address any things that we did well?
I'll go basically at the end. We're a Prezi presentation where we were actually able to work together and agree to actually get everyone's ideas into this whole game, like not even leave out anyone's ideas. We were able to work together, cause zero conflicts whatsoever, and mesh every single person's idea of what they wanted in their game into one giant thing. And I think that like us being able to do that without any conflicts or any issues whatsoever and enjoying it was amazing. I think that went very well. And I think that was because everyone just had an open mind during this whole week. Like, if something just changed, but everyone being able to have an open mind just allowed that to happen, and then that worked out great. That's my opinion there.
I agree. I'd like to add in there. I'm sorry, Josh. That the Prezi actually gave us a chance to work together as one. Like when all of our little avatars were on the screen with each other. But that leads me to do this video chat. We still had conflicts coming into this week, and by doing this video chat, people seem a little bit more happy and smiling, and definitely more talkative. So. If we did this in the beginning, everything would have been a lot better. But I like to say people really should use video chat. It helps out a lot.
It should. I mean, it really helps. To go back to what he was saying as far as the Prezi, I think the biggest reason why we came together so well is I think everyone found their niche. I was good at editing. Anibal was good at providing the story, and Adam's good at doing the bosses. We all found the things that we were good at, and it all came together. Boom, it was just you're good at this, you're good at that, you're good at this, you're good at that, and we all just kind of clicked like gears. We were just going, and I think that's exactly what we should have been doing from the beginning. We should have been like, hey, what are you good at? What are you good at? And we should have worked that way, and that would have been a better way for us to find the roles. If we would have just took a little more time to try to feel each other out and learn the team that we were with, it would have definitely set us up for greater success throughout the entire project. So.
Brittany, do you have anything you'd like to?
I just wanted to add that I thought that the whole week with the Prezi was really fun. And being able to do something like that and have that experience and seeing how well we could work together, and that it was definitely our strongest week.
It was. I agree. That probably was our strongest week and probably our best week ever.
It says
probably.
Ever.
Yeah.
Anibal, did you have something?
I think indeed it was our best week of the month, but maybe from the third week, once everybody started to being more open about the conflicts, it started the bickering and getting, finding that point of agreement between everybody. I think that's when we actually started going forward, and that led us to actually doing good in the Prezi. So.
By best week, I mean like happiness. That's when everyone started being happy and cheerful and joyful and
You got the
everything.
big old smile of yours coming. Yeah.
I smile and laugh when I'm nervous. That's why this is happening right now. It's not
Nothing
because I'm
wrong with
happy.
that, buddy.
Not because I'm happy.
It's good to see.
So, anyone else got things that went well?
I think we had decent communication.
Yeah, I agree. Our communication was good. Like, we were able to keep in touch at all times. I know Brian and Josh were able to communicate by phone when Josh was going to be late for a meeting to let us know that, so we would be prepared. I know Brittany would
Josh
text.
also, I would text you, and Josh texted me sometimes too.
Like that. Even though we had conflicts during the week, we still were able to communicate. Like, we were still communicating what we thought and everything, our ideas, and even times or whatever that we needed to meet, we were still able to just get that through. Except during the early weeks, communicating our conflicts to each other was a bit hard, but yeah, we eventually got that down. So that's good, Brittany.
How about when some teammates would stay after team discussions to talk? I think that's well because you get more familiar with the person and more comfortable, and you learn more about them. So I think that's very important to a team-based and development.
Yeah, basically they took it beyond just being teammates. They kind of developed a little bit of a friendship, which definitely helps in the long run as far as being teammates. Yeah.
I know that me and Adam stayed one day on Skype for like 7 hours when we were just looking. This was like pre-planning our presentation, so we just started going over Google Maps in a map of Russia, and we just started, oh, what's that? What's this? What's that? And we just like researching. I don't know. It was just pointless, but it's actually pretty fun. We actually, there's like some extra hour type of stuff working.
Yeah.
I guess we could call that.
And then built like the foundation for a friendship on top of that. So, as you said, Brian, staying after for those meetings, if you're able to. We know that some people have to go to bed to get up early and stuff, or do whatever they had to do. That's fine, but staying later than possible just to get closer to build the relationship with teammates was definitely a good thing for some of us. So, I agree there.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to address that went well?
I'm gonna go and say that throughout this month, I think, despite what grades we got, and despite what the teacher might have thought about the work we had, I think we gave everything that we had to our work. I think that when we turned something in, it was everything that it could have been from us. At that time, how our team was actually working together, and I think it was pretty good. We were working on all cylinders, I think. So I don't know if anyone agrees with me, but I think that when we turned something in, it was good.
I'm just gonna say I had doubts. Just because it's the way I am, though. Like I wait to the last minute. I try and make sure I pay attention to detail very clearly. But I was okay with turning everything in. I wouldn't say I wasn't acceptable to it. I just had my own doubts.
Well, I think maybe the reason why you might have had some doubts, and sometimes I had doubts too, but I think that was mostly because of the instructions. They were kind of vague, really. I mean, you look at him and you're like, well, I'm not so sure what he means, and what do you mean by transitions, and what do you want us to do? Like, we tried transitions, and when we did the transitions, he's like, well, your transitions aren't there, and we're like, well, we did transitions, So, I mean, honestly, if we had maybe spoke with the teacher a little more, the work would have been a little more complete, but I think with what we had, the work that we did was pretty good,
I mean, I'm not trying to brag that we're like, the perfect example of what this class is trying to teach us, but
not at all.
I was discussing this with Adam, and reading everything that, every stage was about. Pretty much, we're like the perfect example of a team going through all those stages and seeing us like regress back in a certain stage, then going forward and maybe going back again. We pretty much witnessed everything that we were taught. I don't know if y'all agree with me.
I agree, though, but to be honest with you, I mean, who's to say how long a team is in each stage? Nobody makes a complete team in 4 weeks. It just doesn't work that way. Some teams take years to become awesome. And the fact that we've compiled a decent team within 4 weeks, I mean, that's incredible. No one does that. No one. You cannot find a single corporation that sells millions of dollars that will say, hey, yeah, we found this team 4 weeks. Boom. Sold $1 million game. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I think we did above and beyond. So
I kind of agree. I mean, it was kind of weird for this class. I mean, being an assistant manager at a Walmart and then being a team leader in the military, it kind of fit in with this month that the book and the stages that went through every week, we fit into that. The cycle that was going on, actually, between the storm and then all that.
I agree with this whole stages thing. It really did feel like the stages we were in, like, pertaining to the stages we were learning about that week or were going on about that week. But it kind of lost my train of thought. Anyways, yeah. Let's move on from here then.
Okay, so what do you guys think we can have for recommendations for future teaming?
Always, like, from this first stage, always speak on any conflicts, whether personal or whether it's team-related. Just make sure it's out there because it's going to come back. It's going to haunt you in the end of the class, and you're going to have, well, not in the end of the class, in the end of the team process, it's going to haunt you, and you're going to have problems.
I agree. I mean, let's face it, if you do not deal with conflict, it's going to build, and it's going to build, and it's going to build, and it is going to explode in your face, and you're going to hate it. So if you don't deal with it early, you are not going to enjoy it at all, because then at some point it might become something that you can't even fix, and then you're going to lose a valuable partner or a valuable teammate, someone who brings a lot to the table. You know, so if you can, what you want to do is you just want to make sure, hey, you aggravate me, or you do this, or you do that, and I do this, I do that. We need to get this settled because we work excellent together, but I don't like you. You know, you need to get that squared away, because once you do, magic happens.
Yes,
and I think we've seen that. I think we've seen that this week. I mean, the Prezi was gorgeous, but the rest of the stuff, maybe not so much. We kind of conflicted. We were butting heads, and you know, it was pretty bad. But once we came together, it was glorious. So.
Yeah, definitely. When we started addressing the conflicts, you could see a definite growth in our team from the beginning until now. And that's definitely a good recommendation for future teams, is just address your conflict right away. Address it in the first week, not second or third or even the last week. Address it right away, because all of that will fester. It'll continue to grow. And you don't want that to grow. You want your team development to grow positively, not negatively.
Yes.
That's how I see it. Basically, for the future, it's just the communication has to just come early when needed, such as addressing conflicts and making decisions. It's been proven, and everyone agrees, I think, and everyone said that if we brought these conflicts up and addressed them early enough before the end of week 2 or during week 3, then I'm sure we could have done a much better job on everything, especially having our meetings go a lot smoother than they had, and you know, a lot of the time a lot of the time during the meetings would have not been wasted if we did that.
Yeah, like the double meetings. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say it would have made our meetings go a lot smoother.
Yeah.
I actually forgot what I was gonna say, but
honestly, I think our meetings went pretty smooth, but honestly, we just talked about a bunch of random stuff, and it didn't really relate to what we were supposed to talk about.
That's not smooth, man.
Well, I mean,
That's not smooth.
By smooth, I mean like there was no issues. Like we had a good time. We enjoyed each other. We talked a little bit about stuff that we needed to talk about, but at the same time, we went a little too deep. We went off track. I mean, basically there was no issues, but we could have been more task oriented. In our
It was basically a good meeting, but there was nothing productive from it. So.
yeah, no production, but an overall good meeting of the minds.
What
That's
I'd
what I mean
like
by
to.
smooth.
We interrupt each other.
Before Brian forgets.
I just want to.
Go ahead, spit
I
it out.
forgot already. Go ahead, Brittany. Go ahead.
We keep starting at the same time.
The man has the memory of a squirrel.
Just raise your hand.
You know what it is? It's I when I was listening to the Team Syndicate's Postmortem, they were talking about their team as a prime example for being a group of leaders together, which is almost perfect. I can never believe this because a group of leaders will never be perfect. No one, if you don't know how to follow, you can't lead. And I felt like not everybody tried to be a leader here, and that is a great recommendation I can give to everyone, just to be able to follow and not always lead.
Have
Yes.
that balance.
I agree with that completely. I think that if you have actually, I put that down. Too many shepherds, not enough sheep. Basically, I mean, if you have everyone trying to vie for the #1 spot, you're not going to have anyone doing the support work. You know, and it's gonna cause way too much headbutting, and everyone's be like, but I wanted this, and I wanted this, and then you're just not gonna get anything done. You gotta have people who are willing to fall under and listen to that one guy who can lead you into, brighter pastures. I don't know how to say it, but you can only have one leader at a time. It's just some people have to swallow their pride and just go with it, And I think we had a bit of an issue with that in the beginning. We had one or two leaders that were trying to emerge, but I think we definitely we quashed that in the week 2, week 3. So there you go.
Does anybody want to address anything else before we?
Yes, I do. Complacency. That's something I think we kind of slipped back into a little bit earlier in the week. We got a little complacent. We were like, man, we kicked butt on the Prezi. And then we kind of regressed a little bit. And I think that no matter how well we get to know each other or how well we work together, you always have to make sure that you're trying to one-up what you did before. You want to make sure you're always improving and you're always increasing your performance. You don't want to fall back. You don't want to get comfortable in the area you're at. You always want to strive for better, or at least maintaining performance that you're at right now.
Yes, I agree with you, George. That's a big understatement for some people when they start to become complacent with their tasks. Would anybody else like to address anything else?
Yeah, I just want to bring up the thing that was brought up earlier about how we were moving through the stages, and with the time frame, we did good and everything, but I don't really think we did, because it really depends on the scope of the assignments and everything, what we actually had to do. And I think for this class, every assignment each week, I think it wasn't so big, and I think we should have been able to at least flow through the stages pretty easily, especially during the first 2 weeks, third week too, and then obviously fourth week. I think we all agree we've done a lot better during this week, but I don't think it was too much to say that it's not enough time to build a group during these 4 weeks when the work that was required really wasn't that much. That's what I have to say on that. That's what I forgot earlier, and that's what I remember now.
Yes, you're right, and this whole month we shouldn't have had so many team meetings, because as this week we took a day off, and I believe that really revives us all, and we're all better spirited right now. I mean, maybe if we didn't meet so much throughout the month, it would help.
I think B-Ball's got something to say here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Adam, you're basically saying we overthought everything. We looked at it, we just overthought everything that we were supposed to do.
Yes. Yes.
I think for the Prezi in the beginning, we overthought the whole thing. Like, you guys are kind of missing the whole point of the project. Like, we were trying to, I mean, me too. Like, we were all trying to go way too deep into, like, creating a full game with a giant story and everything, and actually completing every single story and plot hole and trying to fill everything in when we didn't need to do that. We just needed to, beginning, middle, end, and then, certain mechanics and everything. But yeah, we did probably overthink a few other things as well. But I do believe that we could have moved through the stages of development a lot better, more efficiently and effectively than we have. I don't think that, I think that this whole month, would have been actually gave us enough time to do so, considering the amount of work was not actually that much as compared to, say, how much work you'll have to do in the workplace when creating a full game and everything. That's what I was saying.
Now, I can agree with you to a certain extent. I think it depends on the people you work with. Like everyone here, I think, with the exception of me and Brian, who have a lot of a life experience involving teamwork and leadership and whatnot, being in the military. You guys, you don't have a lot of experience as far as like working with a lot of teams. You've never really had to lead. You might have a little here and there, but I think knowing the type of people you are, you really have to think like. You got to learn some stuff. You got to learn who you are, what kind of person you are, how you react to certain things. Like, I know Brittany, she's emotional. She may not realize that, She may have learned this month that this is how I react to things. This is how I need to deal with those situations, So it was a learning experience. So, to say that we could have breezed through the stages, I'm not so sure, because a lot of us were really learning ourselves. We didn't know what kind of people we were. We didn't know how we react to this, how we react to that. So how can you breeze through a stage involving teamwork when you don't really know how to deal with yourself? That's my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Go ahead, Brittany.
I just want to say, I think at times people misunderstood me for becoming emotional when I wasn't.
That's true.
And I addressed those that I thought people were misunderstanding me a lot, and I thought we worked through those. But I can get emotional times. I think anybody can, but also anyone can misunderstand anybody, especially when we're not actually face to face.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like you can't put a time limit on such things, because there's so many variables, there's so many things, misconceptions, perceptions. What you think and what I think, it's totally different. So to say we could breeze through something when people may not have experiences that other people have, it's not. I don't think it's feasible to construct a completely awesome team in 4 weeks. It's just not feasible, because you have so many different people here from so many different walks of life. Some people experience this, some people experience that. Yeah, it's just not possible. And I think, honestly, coming into where we are now, I think we did an excellent job. It may not have been smooth, but from where we started to where we are now, we did an excellent job.
I agree. Anyone have anything else to say here before we end this?
No, let's
I'll
close it out.
Take that as a no. Thank you guys for watching Team Cube's Postmortem. And that's a wrap. Bye.
Bye.